Greece. Land of myths and legend, moussaka and olives, and somehow, when I only have 4 countries in Europe left to visit, a place that I'd never been to before. Until now, obviously. My odyssey began at Gatwick Airport, and after an alcohol-free beer and some light reading on the plane, I arrived in Athens. That Guinness Zero was because I was picking up my hire car straight away to head to the first apartment of the trip. Right, so local time is about 1:45. I've just arrived, as you can see, in my apartment for the night. I'm basically going to be going to sleep and then getting up early tomorrow to head off to Mount Olympus. Good morning. It's about 8:15. I'm just going to go see about a bakery that Google says is open, but it is a Sunday, so I'm a bit sceptical. So hopefully I can pick up something there for breakfast, and then it's off to Mount Olympus National Park, which is about a 5-hour drive, so it's going to be a long day. Found the bakery. This is apparently the Greek version of a sausage roll, so well, see what it's like. Good that. Yeah, pretty tasty. Just pulled up to Mount Olympus, and as first impressions go, pretty good. Yeah, not half bad, mate, especially for the home of the gods. I had to walk in their footsteps a bit while I was here, so it was off up the trail. I don't know exactly where I'm going, but I'm just going to follow the obvious path and see what happens. Sorry, you get me heavy, panting, breathing again. It's lovely, but I'm winging it just a bit. Don't really know where I'm going. Silence. Almost. Up and up and up and up. Well, we've got a lovely little place to have a picnic, and there is, well, it's billed as a water spring, but there is no water coming out of it. I think that's me done here. Not Mount Olympus as a whole. There is a waterfall and a monastery that I want to try and see on the way back down in the car. But yeah, while I'm here in Greece, I have bigger things to look at. I mean, this is incredible, but I think the best views are really down the bottom for me anyway. And tomorrow, that's the big one for me, so I want to reserve my energy for that. Down, 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 down. This is the old holy monastery of Saint Dionysius of Olympus, dating back to 1542. There is also a new monastery of Saint Dionysius as well, but I didn't go there. It was just a quick stop here, as there was a film crew, so I didn't want to intrude too much, but an impressive looking place with the mountains as its backdrop. So I didn't manage to get to the waterfall I was talking about earlier, but the drive down, as the drive up, was spectacular. Look at that. See there. Mountain over here. I've just arrived at the hotel for the night, so let's go check it out. So here is the room. Good sized bed. Pretty nice. Yep. Nice looking bathroom with a little kind of wet room style shower, TV, fridge, and then I have a nice little balcony as well, which is great. So I will try and get some use out of that later. All freshened up, time to head out for dinner and check out a little bit of Litochoro town centre. So yeah, Litochoro is the name of this town, nestled at the foot of Mount Olympus. Of course, it has great views of said mountain, but is charming itself. Not a whole lot to see in the town, but it felt calm and relaxing. Time for my first authentic Greek meal. If my friend Sol is watching, he's Greek, then sorry. To start, I had dolmades. I've had versions of these in many different countries, and they never disappoint. Chicken souvlaki, a type of kebab, essentially, was for main course. Talk about carb heavy, chips and rice. Followed by an unknown dessert as it was plonked in front of me for free. It was really nice though. Oh, look at the pretty flowers! but seriously, it's a nice view, even when you can't see the mountain. As you can see, I am back in the room. I was going to have a beer out on the balcony, but I can't figure out how to turn on the lights. It doesn't seem to be a light switch, not that I can find anyway. Is what it is. Also, the Greek lettering on this threw me off, and I realised too late that I just bought a can of Amstel, which is, 100% not Greek. So I will just chill here in bed for a bit, back up some photos, and yeah, see you tomorrow. Good morning. I'm just about to head off, via a bakery in town from Litochoro. And then I've got about a 2.5 hour drive to get from here to Meteora. Of course I found a bakery. When I'm abroad, I live off baked goods for breakfast. I went for that custard tart looking thing behind the flaky thing. And like the dessert from the night before, I don't know what this was. Damn tasty though. Right, time to get on the road. Also, I couldn't do a road trip in Greece without listening to this album at least once. A few hours later, I was at Meteora. Linkin Park have got nothing on this. Out of all of the sites on my list to see during my time in Greece, this was number one. Meteora means suspended in the air in Greek, and I can see why that name was chosen. I've never seen anything quite like it. All these gigantic rocks rising up from the ground, in an almost unnatural way, absolutely dominating the landscape. What's more is you have monasteries sitting atop some of these rocks. During the 16th century there were about 24 of them, although today only 6 remain intact, with 4 still serving as active monasteries. Hey. Now to go down the steps to check out one of those monasteries. This first one was the monastery of Rusinau. Nice garden, but somewhat overshadowed by the view. No filming allowed inside, but stunning views to the side, and amazing views across to other monasteries. It's all great. I loved this place. Next up was the monastery of Varlam. This was the biggest one I saw, and it's a bit of a walk to get up there. Lots of steps, so allow yourself extra time if you need to. Or maybe you can just get the mini cable car over. It wasn't just the biggest I saw on this day, it was the busiest. The outside was pretty majestic, with plenty of stone and terracotta architecture to take in. Oh, and have I mentioned the views? Oh god, the views. How did they build these structures on these rocks all those years ago? Madness, but brilliant. I didn't have time to go into all 6 of the monasteries, so I was paying about €5 per monastery to go in, but you can pay for a pass for all 6. There was one more I wanted to check out before going to my hotel, the Holy Trinity, as featured in the 1981 James Bond film For Your Eyes Only. Unfortunately, by the time I rocked up, pun intended, it was closed for the day, so I had to make do with a view from a distance. That would be rectified the next morning. For now, it was check-in time. Hotel. Meteora. Pretty good location. Quick room tour. Bathroom. Nice. Bedroom. Yeah, it's small, single, but that's all that I need. Kettle. Haha, another balcony. But this balcony has that for a view. Right, all freshened up. Time to go find somewhere for dinner. I was staying in the town of Kalabaka, even smaller than Litochoro, but enough places to eat and stay thanks to the pull of Meteora to tourists. Restaurant found, along with some cats. I treated myself to some local red wine with tzatziki and a slice of spanakopita to start, the latter being a spinach pie, similar to birek. I was not dining alone tonight. Hey, surrounded by you lot now, aren't I? Hey look, those of you, all wanting something from me, eh? Sausage and chips for the main, nothing more to explain here. Another free dessert, I think this was lokumi, essentially Turkish delight and customarily given to unexpected visitors. Back from dinner, I am very, very stuffed though, and one cool thing was I got talking to one of the waiters about the book I was reading.
Turns out he also has this book, so I'm going to read a bit more of it, along with this beer, while I take in what I can see of the view. Good morning. It's time to head back up to Meteora and check out some more monasteries.
I got up nice and early with the sun still rising, just in time for the holy monastery of St. Nicholas to open. Again, lots of steps. Not quite as bad as rock climbing, which as you can see, you can do if you want. Yeah, I agree, bud. Not for us, that. Look at those nutters. No, I was quite happy over here, thank you, on solid footing. As with the other monasteries, there was no filming inside, and this was the smallest I'd seen so far. However, I still needed to go back to the Holy Trinity to retrace Roger Moore's steps. And there it was, in all its glory. The memories of watching Moore's Bond climb up the rock face along with his ragtag team in For Your Eyes Only came flooding back. Granted, nowhere near my favourite Bond scene, and the final showdown at the top I always felt was lacking. But getting there, that was always awesome. And here I was, on my way up, admittedly using a much easier method.
Finally at the top.
Maybe I should have been asked to be brought up by the hook for a more Bond-like experience. While not as big as Varlam, the Holy Trinity was my favourite of the monasteries, and not just because of the James Bond connection. It just had something about it to me, an aura perhaps. Also, probably being there before the big crowds helped. There's a bit at the back of the grounds where the rock and the monastery kind of become one, with an absolutely incredible vista over the town below. Sadly, that was my time at Meteora done. I had one more thing to see before the day was over, however.
Another must-listen-to album while I'm out here in Greece? The drive so far, oh my word, it has been stunning.
I need to add more adjectives to my vocabulary. But yes, the drive was sensational. And it wasn't just thanks to the landscape. It was down to some of its inhabitants too, even if they did provide a challenge sometimes. After going up and down the mountainside, I ended up at the final site of the day. That says Holy Kipinas, I believe, because that's where I was. The walk up to this monastery was pretty easy, especially after Meteora. Kipinas is built into the rock face itself, almost camouflaged within it. I got here late in the afternoon and had the whole place to myself, which was lovely. It dates back to the 13th century, and just thinking about what it would have taken to carve into the rock and build this back then boggles my mind. As expected, it's pretty cosy inside. Being over 6 foot, I had to duck through every doorway. But hey, people were shorter back in the day. Okay, so there was one more thing on the day's itinerary. A stone bridge and waterfall.
So this is the stone bridge. Not exactly what I was expecting. I double checked the one I thought I was coming to, and it's 2 hours away and apparently closed. Oh well. For now though, got to check out some waterfalls instead.
Not sure how I messed that up so badly, but yeah, saw some waterfalls, then got back on the road to the next hotel, with a bit more scenery and some more cows on the way.
So, as you can probably tell, it's a lot later now. I got to the hotel much later than I intended. A state hotel, guest house. Yeah, it's this is it. This is the room tour. Yeah, it's fine. I said fine. It's better than fine. That was a bit harsh. It's quite nice. I do like it. Yeah. Now I'm gonna head out and see if I can find somewhere for dinner. It's a bit dead round here. Me in the guest house again because guess what? The restaurant was closed. All the lights were on, but there was no one there, and the door was locked. So yeah, it's going to be a dinner of tzatziki crisps, lemon biscuits, beer, and pomegranate juice because nowhere is open. Everywhere is shut, and it's only 9:20. By the way, this pomegranate juice I picked up near Meteora yesterday, and it was freshly made and squeezed by the woman that owns the convenience shop. So yeah, it's pretty nice. But today has had a very disappointing end. So bring on tomorrow. Good morning. Actually, it was a pretty good sleep, and I needed that. Just about to head downstairs and have some breakfast. Also, check out the balcony. More so, the view from the balcony. I mean, how about that to start your morning off?
I think I was the only person staying at the guest house. I didn't see anyone else there, just me for breakfast. But the woman who worked there kindly still came over to cook for me. A ham and cheese toastie, and some mini pancakes drizzled with honey. Delicious. With a hearty breakfast to start the day, it was back on the road for the next leg of my Greek Odyssey, this time to ancient Olympia. Have a good one, and hopefully I'll catch you next time for episode 2.